Messiah, greetings in the name of the Most High. Most High. Back around the sign of dark angel. Lay down my burdens down by the riverside.
I come from a musical family, originally from the church, you know what I mean, and these things. So it's like music was always part of, you know what I mean, our family, my childhood. I always had music playing in the house, and you know what I mean, and that's where it comes from. But I at that particular time, you never particularly liked any particular genre. It was just music, you know what I mean. That was the music that played in the house. But only as I got older and you hit the streets, and reggae was the universal language.
Mother Nature, put on my culture, rise for the buckle crowd.
To be honest with you, I didn't really take the music seriously. Like, I'll be honest, and I mean, my lifestyle was, you know, my environment and stuff. Yeah, music was part of it, but the fast life, you know, this type of corruption, I mean, being exposed to a lot of corruption, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of embrace that lifestyle, and that's the way my life was. My life was about what's going on the streets, you know, how I can make my money on the streets. Whereas it wasn't about trying to push this music thing in order to try and make money from the music. I think with the music, it was just a passion, it was a hobby, you know what I mean, and just kept it close to me, but I didn't really progress it, you know. So it's only when you go out there and you get exposed to this corruption, and then, you know, when you're left with nothing but your bare essentials, you know what I mean, your clothes and your back and your talent, you know what I mean, you then zone into this, and that's when I started to take the music serious. You know what I mean? Prior to that, it was just corruption. You know, it's just corruption. But I just feel that was Most High's way of saying to me, well, you know what I mean, gonna bring you down to nothing, break you down, strip you down, and make you really, you know, make you see what you have, and embrace it in the way that it was given to you. In the early days, to be quite honest with you, I mean, let's be real. UK artists never really got a look in. You know, in the early days, I mean, yeah, there was a few, unless you was part of a sound system, then from the sound system, you might have, that sound system then might set up a record label or production camp, take it to the studio. So in that way, yes, but in a sense where there wasn't really reggae music, UK artists, me personally, get put on the back burner. Do you know what I mean? That's my opinion. You know what I mean? There's a few artists, yes, from the UK that have made it through onto international success and these type of things. But on the whole, we as a people, we as a minority here in this game, I find that we are left out. So I didn't really have much exposure to like studio work, working with this producer. Yeah, I mean, I had many interests, you know, Jetstar and Green Sleeves, but at the end of the day, they just wanted to shaft you. You know, they wanted to offer you some pittance. I can give you a typical example, like with Jetstar. When I went to Jetstar, I didn't really open my mouth in the discussions. I was with a couple of legal brothers, you know what I mean, and they were dealing with all the necessaries. And these guys thought that I was from Jamaica. They started talking about, I'm gonna get you a work visa, gonna give you a nice place to live in, blah, blah, blah. It's only when I opened my mouth and said, nah, mate, I'm from West London. And then they was like, wow, you know what I'm trying to say to you? So I knew at that time there, even then, that just goes to show, even a Jamaican artist coming into this country trying to get the break is gonna go for certain things such as that, you know what I mean? And that's what it was. So no, I didn't have no experience. The only experience I had with studio came in 2006. So you're talking a long, big gap from 1998, from when I actually launched my whole career and stuff. By 2006, that's when I actually got into studios, and that was just with local studios within Harsden area, Northwest 10. You know what I mean? I linked up with a production camp guy called Killer Beats. You know what I mean? And he put my first song out there on the radio and stuff like that. And it done well, and everybody wanted to know who I was, and that's when it kind of escalated. And then from there, I got the link with different producers throughout the UK. The first one I did with Killer was on a rhythm by Freddie McGregor's son, Stephen McGregor. and the rhythm was called the cartoon rhythm. But this was dancehall. This is like, I didn't really go in with the reggae at that time. I was more into the dancehall because at that time I still had the rude boy in me. So the dancehall was a way of expressing, you know what I mean, the rude boy lifestyle and the rude boy mentality, and you know, it's just dancehall, you know what I mean? And that was that. And then from I've done this song here with Killer Beats, licensed by Stephen McGregor and these guys, and then from there there's more dancehall thing with various producers from my neighborhood, from my community basically, you know. And then it's only going through all of this. I did a lot of stuff, man. I went into garage music and these things, and I just find when I went into garage, the dancehall, I lost my way. You know, I lost my way. So I was doing all of this from 2006 up to maybe 2009, and that's when the real changes came in. It came into effect. I went to Gambia in 2010 in July, and after returning from Gambia, that was it. I knew exactly what I had to do. You know what I mean? I knew my purpose. I recognized my existence, and I had more respect for myself as a living being and more respect for other people as well. And Gambia opened my mind in a sense spiritually. You know what I mean? It really opened me and uplifted me, reconnected me with the universe. You know what I'm saying? So from that 2010, and that's when it all changed. You know, I came back. Yes, I went on a mad one with the dancehall. This one mad crazy year, because I knew come 2012, I knew everything was gonna change. I know I was gonna start get more cultural, because you know, when you go to places like Gambia and you do certain out there, they don't really like the dancehall stuff. They like it, but they more like the reggae, you know. So like they more appreciate the reggae vibe. Like, as some people call it suffering music, you know what I mean? But we're not really pushing suffering music. We're more dealing with the upliftments now, you know what I mean? Revolution time. When you go out there and you can see people are suffering, but yet still happy. And when we look here, sometimes in the Western Hemisphere, everybody's like, you know what I mean? I don't need to go into detail, but everybody's running around like headless chickens, and everything's according to the clock and the money, and you know what I'm saying to you, vanity. It's just a whole heap of different negative elements thrown into the mix. So when you're governed by such a thing like that, and then when you go to a place and you see people living happily still, no suffering, but yet happy. And that's what we try to attain as a people in the Western Hemisphere. We want to be happy, and we look towards material things to be happy, and fast car, big house, and fancy jewelry, and you know what I mean? That's materialistic stuff, you know what I mean? So that made me denounce these stuff, because yeah, I used to be the same way. I used to like to indulge in vanity, but coming back from Gambia, I don't need to say what I did, but you know, that was it for me, you know what I mean? Gambia became my place, you know what I mean? And they became my responsibility as well, you know what I mean? Because it's home, for me it's home. So it's like my family, you know what I mean? Not just saying Gambia particularly, I'm just saying, you know, but yeah, Gambia particularly, I'm not disregarding the whole of the West, like Africa and stuff, but Gambia was my first point of contact with the motherland. And when I started off in 2006, when I started with the dancehall, I was still voicing on some reggae rhythms, like with I linked up with Foundation Sound. They're based in Norwich. That was through King Sammy, who was at the time part of Spectacular, well, still part of Spectacular, but he was more with Foundation and stuff. But I voiced a song, I think it was called Medication, Smoke Your Medication, which was a good song. It done well on the Roots Reggae Underground, you know what I mean? And I left that for maybe a couple of years, and because I was still doing dancehall, I was still caught up in the dancehall scene. I wasn't really pushing the reggae, but every now and again, like these guys will throw a rhythm at me and see if I like it, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna jump on this one, I can jump on that one. And then they did a second one which was called Meditation, and that done well. That was in 2007. Yeah, 2007, that was in 2007. And that done very well. And then after that, I got a call from these some guys in Brighton, Roots Garden, guy called John. He was working with Manasseh at the time, and I did a single with them which was called People Come To. But originally I did it on the Levi rhythm which Manasseh built. And Manasseh took the vocals and then he built up a brand new rhythm around the vocals.
So your medication in moderation, Lord, it's the healing of the nation, through adoration.
Inspiration is like a thing, I think it's based upon mostly experiences in life. Sometimes things that you see somebody else going through, but a lot of it, I would say 90% of my inspiration is from my own experiences. Things that affect me on whether it be spiritually or emotionally, wherever, you know. I just use the words to be able to express myself, and through the sound I can express myself. So that's the main thing, is looking around you and seeing what's really going on. Doesn't matter, you know, you can talk about what you want to talk about. Everyone has their things and what they want to talk about. But I suppose with me, I just more political, more social. So I like to check the social side of, you know, this network that we live in, this world that we live in, and you know, it's all political for me. You know what I mean? Certain things going on right before our eyes and stuff, and some people are scared to actually talk about these things. And if they do talk about it, they come with so much different theories and different conspiracies, when the main thing for me is humanity. You know what I mean? I'm not too worried about this secret societies and blah blah blah, because if it was such a secret, then trust me, wouldn't know about it. So it can't be a secret society. That's some dumb thinking. So my thing is humanity. As a people, if you know what humanity represents, and if you don't know, consult your dictionary and you will know what I'm representing, and that's it, just humanity. I'm not even trying to tell you to praise any particular God or any entity such as humanity, and with that comes the way you should be living. I used to be scared to go on stage, you know what I mean? That's the bad thing as well, because I was really scared, like, you know. I would go on stage and my knees would be buckling and these type of things, you know, and I lose my breath, and you know what I mean? But now it's like, I can't wait to get on the stage. And I suppose that comes with being comfortable with what I'm actually doing. Whereas before I wasn't too certain. I was dabbling here, dabbling there. So I wasn't too certain on which way to go musically. But now I found my place, I found my zone now. And it's more easier in a sense. When I say easier, it's just more comfortable, you know. It's more comfortable morally, spiritually. Do you know what I mean? Like when I go certain places and perform, you know, it's good crowd. There's no animosity. There's no pull a gun out on you or pull a knife out on you. Or, you understand? Look at people that drink too much, but that's normal. You know what I mean? But it doesn't lead to violence. You know what I mean? So it's good being on the reggae scene the way it is right now. Cause it's growing. You know what I mean? It's growing, and it's more growing over here in the European sector. I mean, there is artists coming, there is things coming out of Jamaica, but it's not so strong as it was, you know? It's not so strong. But here right now in the UK and other places in Europe, you got some strong artists going through. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Messiah. Greetings in the name of Most High. Most High.